to start by simply asking y'all a question. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you had a best friend or even a close friend, and all of a sudden, 1 minute y'all friends and y'all real close, and the next minute y'all don't even speak? Or have you ever had that moment in time where like you had a family member and y'all were real close, like your mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever they had in relation with you, and all of a sudden they're no longer here? Have you ever had a job where it was a good paying job, all of a sudden the boss said to let you go? Well, if you have, you should stay tuned for this.
You better wake up and get it. Ain't got no time for no quitting. Your pockets might be on mission, but that's called temporary digit. Get off the couch and get lifted and say that this how we did it. Cause it all started with a podcast called Separate Living. Let's go.
Alright, welcome to another episode of the Separate Living Podcast with the one and only Caine Campbell as your host. And I just want to start by simply asking y'all a question. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you had a best friend or even a close friend, and all of a sudden 1 minute y'all friends and y'all real close, and the next minute y'all don't even speak? Or have you ever had that moment in time where like you had a family member and y'all were real close, like your mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever they had in relation with you, and all of a sudden they're no longer here? Have you ever had a job where it was a good paying job, all of a sudden the boss said to let you go? Well, if you have, you should stay tuned for this. So, today's topic is called I Can't Breathe, Dealing with Uncomfortable Situations. And with that, I want to talk about pruning. Pruning is, the definition for pruning is trim by cutting away any dead or overgrown branches or stems, especially to increase fruitfulness and growth. And the reason why I want to talk about pruning is because pruning is literally a stage in your life where you have to cut off relationships or you have to cut ties with people. It's that simple. Like for example, like I was saying earlier, if you have a job where you're making $10, $15 an hour, good paying job, there's no work, all of a sudden you get fired, you have to realize that sometimes you being fired is going to be necessary. Sometimes you losing that parent or you losing that loved one is definitely going to be necessary. Sometimes you and your friends, y'all going to have an argument. Sometimes you and your boyfriend or your girlfriend, y'all going to have an argument. Sometimes might be necessary to prune the situation. And the reason why pruning is so powerful is because it's very, very, very painful. Like sometimes cutting ties with people isn't that easy. It isn't that necessary. So you have to realize with the painful process of pruning, just know that eventually it's gonna get better. It might not seem like it, like the moment you lose a good job or the moment that you lose your family member, your very special family member, it's gonna be painful. And I can tell you that from experience, losing my mom in 2016, very, very, very painful. But that's part of the pruning process. It's part of the pruning process because if I allow something to be taken away from me, I know that later on greater is going to come. So you have to realize that in order to grow into your purpose or your gift, you have to prune. You have to cut ties. You have, like, if you think about it, not even if, but when you were in elementary school and they were teaching you about your addition problems, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. If you kept sticking with that same thing over and over and over and didn't allow your brain to expand, you wouldn't go learn much. So you had to start using what you had, forgetting that, and then start using other things like multiplication and dividing, because just like 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 times 2 is, okay, I hope y'all got that. But so when it comes to pruning, you have to realize that it's necessary. realize that pruning is very necessary because it's only gonna make you better, even if it does hurt, even if you don't understand. I know it's been many times where myself, like, I had to give up things that I did not want to give up. I had to let go of people that I did not want to let go. Sometimes people even left on their own free will. But even though I did not understand it myself, I still had to realize that, okay, well, even though I have to cut ties with these people, even though me and this person aren't even speaking to each other anymore, even though me and this person doesn't even hang out, or even if this person's no longer here on earth, you have to realize that it is going to be okay. Pruning is necessary, even if you don't understand it. And even if it seems like when they leave you, you cannot breathe anymore. It's not even the same. So the title, like I was saying before, today's title is I Can't Breathe, Dealing with Uncomfortable Situations. So an uncomfortable situation would be if you and your best friend get into a heated argument over a mutual acquaintance. If your best friend is cool with that person and you're not cool with them, and y'all have this heated argument, y'all gonna need to prune. And when I say prune, I'm saying you have to let go of the situation, because you have to realize, is this mutual friend that I'm not cool with, is it more important than my best friend? Is he or she more important than my best friend? Is it? I mean, are they? So with the uncomfortable situation is, you know that every time you come around this person with your best friend, or even without your best friend, it's gonna always be a big elephant in the room. So you have to allow yourself to prune from it. You have to allow yourself to know, okay, look, I don't like you, you don't like me. It's that simple. So in order for us to keep both of our sanities, you have to go your way, I'm gonna have to go my way. Now, hopefully, your best friend knows and understands that, okay, well, I'm cool with this person and I'm cool with this person. They gonna have to find balance between themselves on how they have to deal with the situation. Like, you can't just think, okay, well, it's gonna be kumbaya forever, because that's not how life goes. Pruning is necessary, like I was saying earlier. So you have to know that, okay, well, if they need to go their way and I need to go my way, then so be it. And even if that's an uncomfortable situation, you have to understand that even when times get real hard and you get into an uncomfortable situation where you can't even breathe, you just have to let it go. And it's gonna be many times in life where you get very, very, very uncomfortable. And that's all part of the process of life. There will be times where you have to prune. There will be times where you have to deal with uncomfortable situations. And there are gonna be times where you aren't gonna be able to breathe. But that's why pruning is necessary. You have to cut ties with people. You have to cut ties with jobs. You have to cut ties with any and everything that is only here for a moment. I hear a lot of people say that you're either here for a reason or for a season. I know y'all hear that a lot because I've heard it a lot myself. So that quote simply saying, if I have someone that comes into my life only for a season, that means literally from January to March or whenever the actual season is. You have to know that, okay, when your time is up, your time is up. But you have to learn that from that season, there was a reason for it. Even if I don't understand it right now, or even if I don't understand it 10 years from now, you still have to realize, okay, well, there was a reason why this person came into my life. Even if it was big or even if it was small, I had to still realize it. So, a woman by the name of Caine once said, God prunes us when he is about to take us into a new season of growth and expansion. I'm going to say it again. Caine once said, God prunes us when he is about to take us to a new season of growth and expansion. That's powerful. That is powerful. So you mean to tell me that the reason why I'm losing so much, or the reason why I'm currently unemployed, or the reason why my brand new business isn't booming like I want to, or my brand new baby is always crying, or anything like that, The reason why that is happening is because something better is coming. I'm going to have more memories. I'm going to have better coming into my life. Then by all means, bring it. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people. You have to know that if I let this thing go, if I let this person go, if I let go of my negativity, there will be better. Even though it is hard. Like I remember seeing a picture of a little girl who had a small teddy bear, and this was a drawing. It was a little girl, and I'll put the picture right here. But there was a picture of a little girl holding a small teddy bear, and then there was Jesus with a bigger bear behind him, and all he was simply asking was, "Can I have your bear?" And I feel like that picture was so powerful because you never know what will happen if you simply give up the small things that you have. Even if they seem small to other people, they may be very near and dear to your heart. If you allow yourself to just simply give it up, I promise, better will be coming. So with pruning, like I was saying before, pruning is painful because you are cutting off dead branches. Branches meaning relationships. Branches are relationships. Like from your mom, your dad, your cousin, your brother, your sister, regardless, your aunt, your aunts, uncles, regardless. Boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, friend, any of them. So you just have to understand that, okay, in order for me to grow and to become this beautiful rose or this beautiful tree or this beautiful forest, I simply have to stop what I'm doing and prune. Just imagine what your life would look like if you allowed yourself to prune. Imagine all the opportunities that would come your way if you just simply pruned. Like imagine that business that you want to start, that book you wanted to write, that movie you wanted to write, that script you wanted to finish, that album that you wanted to create. Just imagine if you would just cut off the distractions, cut off the negative people, cut off the negativity as a whole. Just imagine if you allowed yourself to prune and just deal away with all the nonsense. Like if you allowed yourself to cut off every single thing and every single body that told you that you can't do this or you shouldn't do this, just imagine what you can do by yourself. Like imagine that business that you wanted to start that took you not even 10 minutes to even think of the name. Just imagine that store, that clothing store, that hair store, whatever business that you wanted to open up, that ebook. Just imagine if you actually took out time to start it. Like all you have to do is just simply start listening to first God and then listen to your heart and then just start writing it all down. It always comes back to my very first episode, write it down and make it plain. Just simply just start doing it. That's all you have to do when it comes to pruning. Just cut off, cry, keep going. That's it. That's all pruning is, just cutting it off, crying if need be, and keep going. And I have a personal story of pruning. So, personal story will be my junior year in college, where I was pretty much just getting into the things of the audio world, and my academic advisor was pretty much saying, okay, so I know you want to record music, but imagine taking classes. Well, she didn't even really say imagine, but she was like, look, you're going to take these acting classes, you're going to have to take these script writing classes, you're going to have to take radio production class and everything. So me, not even really wanting to, but I had to cut off my stubbornness because I needed to graduate. I knew I had to graduate. So because I cut off the stubbornness and because I allowed myself to prune away from only being stuck to one thing of audio recording, now you are looking at a man who knows how to record, film, edit, everything from Adobe Premiere to GarageBand to Pro Tools, anything dealing with film work. I even write my own scripts to short films. Like, if you allow yourself to prune and just cut away, like even like, and another thing that people need to realize, pruning is not for other people, it's for you. Like, you have to understand that the reason why I'm doing this is to better benefit and better myself. Like, you can't just think, okay, well, if I cut off whoever, then hopefully they catch the understanding or they catch the gist of it. It's like, no. You just like if someone do you wrong, you have to forgive them. You're gonna have to understand, in order for you to move up and become more successful in life, you have to prune. You have to stop playing and start pruning. Might be something I'll put on a shirt. Anyway, but allow yourself to start pruning. Allow yourself to start breathing, even when you feel like you can't, because I understand right now in life it might be very, very difficult to keep going, but you just have to understand that even if you were dealt with even if these are the cards you're dealt with, that doesn't mean you can't ask for more. It doesn't mean you can't really ask for more. Like, just imagine if you were giving $2,000. Like, just that was a blessing that was received upon you. Just imagine if you was given $2,000 and all of a sudden someone gave you opportunity to start your own business. With that $2,000, you don't know exactly where to go or what to do, but you know that you always want to start your own business. If you use that $2,000 for good and use a good decision with that money, you're going to go far. You're going to go far, but you have to understand that, okay, look, because I was given this opportunity, and it might not be a lot, and it might not be exactly what I need, it's something. So you're going to have to cut off your stubbornness. You're going to have to cut off your pettiness. You're going to have to cut off your shade. You're going to have to cut off moments when people belittle you. You're going to have to cut all that off and just start doing what's best for you. Even if your parents don't understand, even if your best friends doesn't understand, even if your boyfriend or girlfriend, you have to understand that your pruning process is your personal process. No one can go through it with you but God. But you're going to have to start doing it. In order for him to level you up, you're going to have to go ahead and get up. And it's just that simple. Stop thinking that, okay, well, what if it's not going to work? Or what if it hurts? Or what if it isn't the best for me? You won't know unless you try. I mean, a lot of things in life that are painful are necessary only because it's grooming us and shaping us into the person that we are meant to be in life. Like with the whole process thing, you have to understand that, okay, it's going to be times where there's going to be pain, there's also going to be peace. But in order for me to understand any of that, I first have to start pruning. That's it. That's just that simple. You have to understand that, look, it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt. But it's still the process of pruning. And once you realize that, you will become so successful. Like, the reason why I created this platform of a podcast is because I want people to understand that we are literally here to educate, motivate, and dedicate to a cause of purpose and prosperity. All right, so at this part of my podcast, I have asked a few people to give me a few questions on pruning. And one question says, when you're feeling down during the pruning process, what is a few good ways to uplift yourself? And the answer to that question would be, a few things to uplift yourself is simply watching motivational seminars, listening to positive music, taking out time to write down exactly how do you feel as far as like your emotions as a person. Like, allow yourself to know that even if right now I'm not really understanding what's going on, I just know that something eventually is going to take its place. So, with another question, it says, how do you start the pruning process? How do you start the pruning process? Well, the pruning process starts when you have that conversation. You have conversation, or like I like to say, a meeting with yourself. You take out time and you just tell yourself, okay, all these people that are around me right now and all these things that are around me right now, even if my circle is big or even if it's small, do they benefit or hurt me? If they benefit me in any type of way, then they can stay. If not, they're gonna have to go. And you have to realize that even if it hurts, even if you and this person or people have known each other ever since y'all were little kids, you have to allow yourself to know that, look, it's been cool, it's been real, but I want better in my life. I want to keep going in my life. I want to be pruned. So I have to let myself go from you, and you have to move around. So another question is, how do you know when God is done pruning you? That might have been my favorite question right there. How do you know when God is done pruning you? The moment you know that God is done pruning you is the moment you see everything that has hurt you has helped you. And that's as simple as I can say. Everything that has hurt you in the past is now helping you, and you see that you literally reap what you sow. So you understand that because I've been through agony, because I've been through pain, because I've been through anxiety and depression, that now I'm now smiling and I'm very successful. Even if not many people know it, just know that I'm still standing here through it all. And I knew that in order for me to get this far, and the only reason why I have gotten this far is because God has shown me the way. That's the moment you know that your pruning session has concluded. And the very last question says, which is one pruning process that you've gone through? I've been through so many. One of the pruning processes that I've personally gone through is losing my mom. Like I was saying earlier, she died in November. Well, she passed on in November 2016, and that was a very difficult time in my life because as the only child, it was difficult. You know, at first it was me, my mom, and my dad, and now it's just me and my dad. So it's just like that pruning process became painful because I had to lose my mom. You know, losing your mom was very painful. But I had to realize that in order for her to pass on, something must pass by me and give me better. And a lot of people have gone through times where they have lost people and they have gone through their own personal pruning process. And even if you're currently going through your pruning process right now, I promise that even if you don't understand it and even if you don't see where I'm coming from right now, soon you will. You just have to continue to pray and understand that your pruning process is going to end soon. And understand that. And with that being said, this has closed another episode of the Self-Prolific Podcast with your host, Cam Campbell. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if y'all have any questions about the pruning process, right there, comment down below, and I promise I'll answer them. See y'all when I see y'all. Peace.
You better wake up and get it. Ain't got no time for no quitting. Your pockets might be on midget, but that's called temporary digit. Get off the couch and get lifted and say that this how we did it. Cause it all started with a podcast called Self-Prolific. Let's go.